you're taking over. Any Hasbro characters that you'd like to at some point roll into your run? Any priorities?
Yeah, I mean, like, you mean outside of Transformers and G.I. Joe?
Or in. Hello, welcome to Comic Tropes. I'm your host, Chris, and you caught me in my editing room. So this is going to be a short interview that I did with my friend Robert Kirkman. He's about to take over Transformers. He's also got some new books like Skinbreaker with David Finch and some Invincible stuff coming out. So I thought we'd just sit down, have a quick interview, and share with you what's coming up in the world of Robert Kirkman. Let's do it.
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. So you are about to take over writing Transformers in the Energon Universe. Just as a table setting measure, I'm curious. I think I know some of the answer, but any favorite Transformers stuff from your childhood? You were into Transformers as a kid, yeah?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that poster is not there for interviews. That's there at all times. And if you look at any Zoom interview I've done for years, it's always been there. But no, I was born in '78. I was what does that make me? 6 years old in '84 when Transformers started, and I was 8 years old when I saw Transformers in the theaters for the movie. You know, I got the little toys. I had the Bumblebees and the Cliff Jumpers and the Bronze and that stuff. Any larger Transformers I got when my grandparents came to visit, or I got at yard sales because we couldn't afford them. But yeah, I've been a huge fan of Transformers for as long as I can remember. So actually getting to write this book is really exciting for me. And I'm a hot rod guy. That's my favorite Transformer. That's why he appeared so quickly in Void Rivals.
You were the right age at the right time for the new characters in the movie to hit.
Oh yeah. And I've said this before, but like, I'm 8 years old in that theater. I've been watching the first 2 seasons of Transformers. I think it's Prowl and Brawn die on the ship, and I'm like, what's happening? Is that smoke coming out of their mouths? Like, what is going on? And I'm just traumatized. And then my dad was with me, and he still talks to this day of just tears streaming down my cheeks as Optimus Prime is dying. And I was just, wrecked, just absolutely wrecked. Like, these are the guys I love, and they're dying. But then these new characters come, and by the end of the movie, I'm like, I got to get some new toys. These guys are the and it's really kind of, if you look at it, it's the basis of my entire career. Because like feeling that sense of loss and numbness, like watching Optimus Prime die at 8 years old, I've been trying to find that in entertainment, and I've been trying to bring that to everything that I've done since then.
Yeah.
Like build characters up and then kill them savagely so that you are upset.
I feel like right around the time you were sort of wrapping up Battle Pope, somewhere around like 2000, you were thinking of like making a play for Transformers back then, right? Like a little over 20 years ago.
Yeah, we did. I mean, Val Staples, who colored Battle Pope covers, and eventually got the Masters of the Universe license from Mattel. Prior to that, had tried to get the Transformers license. And I had written a test script for that. I was going to be doing that book with E.J. Sue if it had happened. Unfortunately, Dreamwave ended up swooping in and getting the license instead. So yeah, I mean, I came very close, but that would have been a very bad Transformers comic. I don't know if I was quite ready for it then.
I was just going to say, like, you and EJ both found your way to Transformers and, got some seasoning. So
True.
I don't know. Transformers is hitting so hard right now. I love how all of the Energon Universe books, I sincerely have been talking them up on my weekly show because I'm really enjoying them. I love how rather than like big crossover events, they've had crossover characters. You've been using Skuxoid from Transformers and Pythona from G.I. Joe. Transformers has used, G.I. Joe has used Hound and Matt Tracker from Mask. That was a surprise in the free comic book day. So I'm just curious, you're taking over. Any Hasbro characters that you'd like to at some point roll into your run? Any priorities?
Yeah, I mean, like, you mean outside of Transformers and G.I. Joe?
Orion. Orion.
Yeah, is this going up before my issue comes out? I can't remember.
Yes, it'll come up
okay,
before.
Well, then I will not spoil the characters that are appearing in 25. I will say I think there's a number of character introductions in 25, and those are the characters I would have said that I would like to work with. But yeah, there's other stuff out there. You know, I don't know. I think Swindle is a great character. I'm excited to be writing him.
Yeah,
he's one of the Combaticons. He's got some great characterization. You know, because he's a scumbag, and
he totally is.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I mean, there's characters like Cosmos. That was always a favorite of mine as a kid.
Huh.
The green spaceship guy. I don't know. Sea Spray. Like anybody that had like a really like heartfelt, like focused episode of the Transformers cartoon. I like them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want people to know what to expect from my run too much.
And I don't want you to spoil it. I was just kind of curious, like, you know, who resonated with you. And I get it. Yeah, if you grew up watching the show and somebody got a dedicated episode like Power Glide or something, you remember them. Because there were so many toys.
Yeah, and the tip top is all the new Transformers that showed up in the 86 movie. You know, I'm very frustrated that so much has to happen in the Energon universe to accurately kind of lead us to Scourge and Cyclonus and Galvatron and things like that, unless we were to change the continuity somewhat. But we'll see what happens.
I love it. What about, I mean, obviously Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona and you know, some help by guys like Jason Howard and Mike Spicer. They had a really, really successful run with critics, with readers, with sales. Like, are there any elements from there, story arcs, characters, tone, anything like that you've intentionally thought, hey, I want to continue using some of that?
Pretty much all of it. Daniel was great enough to leave like 3 to 5 dangling subplots that I'm picking up on. There's also some things in his run that I'm turning into subplots that he maybe didn't intend to continue. Okay. That's vague. You'll see in 27 what I'm talking about. But my goal is for this, you know, this is Transformers 25. This is not a new Transformers #1. My goal is for it to be like an old school, you know, seamless Marvel DC, like creative team handover where the subplots continue, what's been happening continues. And, you know, if you weren't really paying attention to the credits, you wouldn't necessarily notice that there had been a changeover. I want people that have been enjoying the Daniel Warren Johnson run to enjoy this run just as much. And so, you know, anything that he had set up, I'm definitely going to be carrying on. This is not a case of a new writer coming in and going, okay, got to make this book my own, and I'm going to change this, and I don't like that character, I don't like this character. You know, Daniel introduced Shredhead as a new character towards the end of his run. Didn't really get to do a lot with that character. We will be doing a lot with that character moving forward.
Good.
So yeah, we're definitely trying to, you know, have reverence for what came before and continue the tradition that he had set up.
No, I love that. Like seeing an original character. Like I wasn't necessarily expecting that when you've got so many to pull from. Yeah. But there was I loved it. I like surprises. And I think that's one of the things each of the Energon Universe's books have been delivering is a surprise. Like it's not what I expect with, I don't know, just business as usual.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think comics as a medium, you know, the page turn function gives you a potential surprise every other page. And I think, that, you know, the more you can play into that, the better.
Nice. I was really excited to see that David Nakayama is going to be your main cover guy. I just think he's got such a fantastic set of covers that he's done, like in that G1 style. And you guys have been doing all these variant covers at Skybound. I'm curious, is there anyone that you haven't worked with yet that you'd like to see on a Transformers cover? Anybody come to mind?
You know, Stuart Eminem's one of my favorite artists. I would love to be able to get something from him. You know, I'm going to say Brian Hitch. I think like vaguely. No, we didn't. No, we tried to get, but he's all ghost machined up. So we haven't been able to get him. But yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that would be a lot of fun. You know, we got James Herron on a couple. So you know, he's He's another favorite of mine. Corey Walker did a cover that was spectacular.
So cool.
But yeah, there's tons of guys out there that I'd love to try and get.
I didn't even think of this until just now, but every once in a while there's those blank covers. Yeah. Has anybody ever asked you to draw a Transformer on one at a convention?
They haven't yet, and I would recommend against it.
No, I'm glad I brought this up. Now you're going to get asked not just for Sleepwalker sketches anymore. You're going to get asked for Optimus Prime sketches.
I've done some Invincible heads over the years, and I've done a lot of zombies, and I've done 10 Sleepwalkers.
You're going to have to figure out a Transformer head that you can do.
Oh, boy.
People are going to ask for it.
Can't wait.
As long as we're talking about covers and stuff, though, you are working now with David Finch on Skinbreaker, pivoting a little, but you guys have been working together in one sense because he's been doing the covers for Walking Dead Deluxe since the beginning.
Yes.
Was that where you guys... Oh,
no, he was already drawing Skinbreaker when he started doing those Walking Dead covers. That's how...
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of curious about, was when you guys started working together.
Yeah, no, Skinbreaker is something that we've been working on I think we started in 2017, I think.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, 8 years on Skinbreaker. Yeah, well, because the work that he's been doing is every page is essentially like 7 pages of drawing. So it's a remarkable. I don't know if you've seen how big his art boards are, and it was a massive undertaking, and we've joked about it in interviews, but it was originally going to be like a 48-page story. Then it was a 64-page story. And then it was a 100-page story. And then it was a 150-page story. And I don't think he would have chosen to draw it that way if he had known that the story would expand. It was kind of I don't know, was it a gift of the Magi kind of thing? It was like, well, it's short, so I'll draw it this way. Well, he's drawing it this way, so I'm going to make it longer.
So what made him the right artist for this story?
He reached out to me because we had talked about working for years and years. And he reached out and was like, "Hey man, like I'm wrapping up at DC. I'm ready to go. Like you got something." And he had recently done this run on Wonder Woman, and there was this page with Swamp Thing that he had done that was like this lush vegetation, and Swamp Thing was really cool looking as like a plant-based monster thing. And I was just like, I want to do an entire book that looks like this. So I actually sent that page to him and was like, I want to do an entire book that looks like this. Like, is that something you'd be up for? And he was like, yeah. And so the story was pretty much tailor-made for him. He hasn't done a lot of things that are, Conan-esque or sci-fi fantasy kind of stuff. He's done mostly superheroes and sci-fi and things like that. So you wouldn't necessarily, expect this from him. But it was something that I thought that he could handle really well, and I know that he's a huge fan of Frazetta and Charles Vess and Michael Kaluta, and it really kind of poured out of him, and it's really cool to see something different from him.
It feels like something a little different for you too, like that you haven't really done a whole lot, sort of I don't know, a barbarian type story that a guy like Frazetta might have worked on. I can't think of a perfect one-to-one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I try to frustrate my fan base with every new book. I don't want anyone. I love Walking Dead. I think I'll like Super Dinosaur. Nope. I try to change things up as much as possible with all of my new projects.
That's awesome, man. Well, as I'm saying this, you can still get your pre-orders in for Transformers with your retailer. Final order cutoff hasn't quite hit yet. Skinbreaker coming out real soon. Anything else on the horizon that we should keep our eyes out for? That you're allowed to talk about, I guess?
Golly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Invincible season 4 on the horizon. That's exciting.
That is exciting.
All kinds of cool stuff coming up there. We'll be talking about it a lot at New York Comic-Con, I'll say. So stay tuned for more information.
That's awesome.
We're bringing back capes in November.
Yeah,
so really excited about that.
I'm excited about that too, because I still am super good friends with Mark and Benito and talk to them all the time. And for like, I want to say years, Mark has been showing me the upgraded images like for capes. And, you know, I've kept my mouth quiet, but it's been announced and it looks so incredible. Like Mark has like put so much into this. I was excited to see that it's going to continue too.
It started because the trade had gone out of print, and I was like, oh, well, you know, if we're going to reprint the trade, maybe it'd be cool to, you know, put a new coat of paint on things and maybe get some new coloring. And so I contacted Mark and I was like, what do you think about recoloring the old issues and, you know, putting them out so that they're like a little flashier? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. And maybe I can touch some things up as I go. And I was like, I mean, you know, if you want, that's okay. And then he started turning pages in and I was like, oh, okay, this is way more, I guess. Okay. And then it just became its own project because I was like, well, if it's going to change this much, we've got to put it out as single issues.
I love it.
You know, some of that original Capes trade has never been released as single issues. So issues 4, 5, and 6 of the series will basically be the first time they've ever been published in that form because they existed as backups in Invincible and then in the trade.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be updating the dialogue and polishing things a little bit and not changing things too much. But yeah, so it'll be a wholesale update, which is pretty exciting. And I mean, I'll say here, the original Capes didn't sell so great. So I think this is a new book for 99% of people that exist. So that's exciting.
And the timing is good because
the timing is great because it's tied in with Invincible and the Invincible show's doing really well. And so it is
Battle
really
Beast
like
is doing pretty well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. That too. But it's a corner of the Invincible universe that a lot of people haven't really experienced. And
right.
And then, you know, we'll keep going with issue 7 and Benito and Mark are doing some amazing stuff on the book. And, awesome. You know, and I'm help guiding them and like introducing some new characters and throwing some things out there for them and kind of overseeing everything. So it's a lot of fun. I couldn't be happier to be, you know, interacting with the Invincible universe in so many different ways right now. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. It's too bad that you don't have too much on your plate, that you got to keep yourself busy with a couple comic projects, you know?
Look, man, I got to write this Transformers comic. You know, these things don't write themselves.
No, you got to keep busy. And somewhere, maybe you'll fit in some family time. Maybe. No promises.
My kids are old now. They're busy.
Old.
They don't. What are you talking about? My kids are 19 and 16 now. Like,
I know. I guess
I don't see them at all.
That's bonkers.
I have to schedule time.
Yeah, I guess you're pretty far past the days when you were creating like Super Dinosaur, like to entertain your son, huh? Like they're doing their own things now.
By the time we did the Super Dinosaur cartoon, my kids could not have cared less.
Dude, thank you so much for giving us just a look at what's coming up. I think we're all pretty excited for it. Continued success to you too.
Thanks, man. Always great to see you.
Thank you.